hadn't thought of that.
About what?
This article by our colleague David in the US says that Donald Trump could be about to wipe mentions of queer people from government websites and documents.
Based on what?
Well, he did it in his first presidency.
Can you give some examples?
So, references to LGBT issues were removed from federal agency websites, as well as from the Department of Health strategic plan.
What does that mean, though?
LGBT groups worry that it's part of a plan to erase trans people from society, making it harder for them to access services like welfare, healthcare, and employment.
Has Trump said he plans to do that?
No, he hasn't, although he did have several policies in his manifesto which remove or limit trans rights.
Actually, now I think about it, Project 2025 called for terms like sexual orientation or gender identity to be removed from every official document or website to exist, if it interferes with free speech.
Hey y'all, welcome back, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Lumi, and today we're going to be looking at some more trans rights TikToks here in the US. So yeah, this first one is pretty informative. I've been hearing a lot in the news lately that the new administration is pushing, or it's basically rolling back, I guess a lot of the progress that Joe Biden's administration had made when it comes to trans people who identify a certain way, that they are being recognized in the government, when it comes to like identification, for example. So having like your preferred gender identity represented on like your government issued ID, your driver's license, or your passport. Like I keep hearing about how people who have basically fully transitioned to another gender, right? They've had the surgeries, they've changed their names, like they've done the whole thing, right? And it's been like kosher for years, right? But all of a sudden, like they get a email or like a letter in the mail that says like their ID is like no longer valid, or like their passport's no longer valid because there was a discrepancy, and they're going to be like issued a new one, and the new one has all the updated like or basically rolled back like gender information. So basically the stuff that or the gender identity that the individual was assigned at birth, right? Or I should say that just the gender that was assigned at birth. So like people are up in arms about this because, I mean, imagine working so hard to be recognized as the gender that you prefer to be viewed as, right? And seeing that our government was finally starting to like open up to this stuff, and then have it be like ripped away, to have it like be taken away pretty much like overnight, or it feels like overnight. But I think they've been trying to roll this stuff back for a while. They just needed the president to push it, because one thing that President Trump has done is like, man, he has been firing off all these. He's been signing so many executive orders. Like, it feels like we've seen more things change in like the past. I don't even think it's been a month yet, has it? Hasn't even been a full month. But so much has changed. And I don't know, it's like it's happening so fast, it like kind of feels like it's making my head spin. But yeah, no, it's really unfortunate. Like I have trans friends, so it's hard to see this stuff happen, and it's difficult to stomach it when it affects people you care about, right? But yeah, I don't know. We're gonna see what happens, and if this affects you personally, like, look, you just gotta stay strong, can't let it get you down, and go out there and vote. Like I always try to say, like whenever I cover something political, you have more power than you think, and that go out there and make your voice heard. Like if this is stuff that you really care about, go out there and vote. Protest peacefully if you can, or if obviously consider your safety first, because sometimes that stuff can unravel fast. But you know, if you can do it peacefully, do it, and yeah, make your voice heard. Get out there and speak your mind.
Let's talk trans identification documents as of Saturday, February 1st, 2025. The State Department has still not issued any official, comprehensive guidance about how they are treating passports, which is causing a lot of confusion. It surely seems that at this moment, the way passports are treated is varying from passport office to passport office, from individual government agent to individual government agent. This is why we are seeing some of these scary stories about transgender individuals having their passports withheld and their supporting documents withheld, rather than a comprehensive policy of withholding across the entire State Department. Although I will say the good news is that for those individuals in those situations, it seems like those documents do get returned and their passports do get approved after a few days of beautiful bureaucracy. On that note, there is some indication that the State Department has a policy freezing the passports of transgender individuals until that official guidance comes out, which does seem to be generally the case and is probably the most consistent thing right now, but it is not wholly consistent because some trans individuals are still getting passports through the system. Right now, unless you need a passport for urgent international travel, I would still sit and wait and see for the official guidance to make sure that everything is good and clean and that you don't get yourself stuck in a scary situation potentially because of the whims of a single individual agent. Additionally, the Social Security Administration has announced that they will not be changing gender markers for people anymore. The Social Security Administration never had an X gender marker. This is applying to binary trans folks trying to change from male to female or female to male. That seems that it will be stopped. Again, uncertain if the Social Security Administration is able to do that based on Trump's executive order, and we will wait to see if a challenge comes out against that. But as of now, if you're trying to get a new Social Security card and change that information, you are not going to be able to change your gender marker. Finally, as a reminder, birth certificates, driver's license, and legal court orders for name changes and gender marker changes are all going to still be available at a state level if your state allows for those sort of changes to be made. Those are the things that the federal court order cannot reach and is not even purporting to be able to reach. So if you want some identification that is going to be closer to matching your identity and you live in a state that allows for those changes to be made, that is something that you are still going to be able to pursue, and the federal government cannot stop you.
Yeah, it's an important thing to remember that these changes only affect like the federal level, and I guess the hope is that like more states will fall in line with the federal government, but they're by no means required to. But I think that's like the I guess playbook that Trump's going by, and that the Republicans are hoping for. But yeah, you're pretty much fine, I think, at the state level, for now at least. So, but the problem is, obviously you need a passport to accurately represent like what you identify as. So if you're like trying to travel internationally and your passport's like flagged in the system, or like there's a discrepancy in the system, that can cause potential problems at the border, or at the airport, because if obviously like if you've ever flown internationally, you have to go through customs, right? And you have to speak with a customs agent, right? And it's, I guess, like, what they said in the video, it's up to the agent at that time to make a decision, which is, can cause you a lot of issues. I mean, they might say, hey, this isn't accurate. They might hold your passport. They might bring you in the back for questioning, like some real papers, please type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's pretty scary. And yeah, I think some good advice here would be like if you are in this kind of precarious situation, uh, and you want to travel, maybe if you can postpone that travel, uh, if it requires a passport, and if you're in like this holding pattern right now, once that clears up, maybe then it'd be safer to travel. But yeah, like you do not want to be um, in a situation that could put you in danger, because of this stuff. Yeah, this right here kind of unmasks the whole thing and how just ridiculous it all is, you know? It's like this person clearly is a woman, right? And but because she wasn't assigned that at birth, now she's being forced to use the men's restroom, and it's gonna just like it almost like makes the whole thing 'cause like what they want ultimately is for like women who are assigned women or female at birth to use the female restrooms, and same with the men, right? Because they want it just to be like black and white, right? But now it's gonna cause I think that's the irony here. It's gonna cause like the opposite effect because now you're gonna have people who are trans, but like, they look like women in the men's restrooms, and females who were assigned female at birth but pass as a man in women's restrooms. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like it's like there's like an irony here how it's like the people on the right and like Republicans, they want to like simplify life, and they want it to be like the 1950s again, right? And yet here they are, they're like trying to pass this legislation, like enforce this stuff, but now it's gonna like make everything much more just like unsafe and like confusing for people, and it's just like it's so ridiculous, like I said in the other video, it's like we're all adults here, and if their concern is like they don't want men in women's restrooms because they think men are going to be creepy or something, like men and women both can be creepy, and like people will call you out if you're going to do that stuff, like just be creepy and like I don't know, pull out your phone or something in the bathroom. Like you will be called out on that so fast, no matter who, like what you identify as, if you're a man or a woman, like it doesn't matter. Like a creep is a creep, period. So like I don't understand their argument for this whole thing, and I think forcing people to use the restroom for their gender assigned at birth is just gonna make things a lot more unsafe and basically have the opposite effect of what they want. Alright, y'all. I had a few more videos that I wanted to cover, but I ended up talking way too much in these last two videos. So, I don't know. If you guys like this stuff, maybe I'll do another one in the future. But for now, I think I'm going to wrap this one up here. As always, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you dislike it, dislike it. Let me know in the comments down below, like, what are your thoughts on all this stuff? Do you think this is going to accomplish anything significant, or do you think it's just a whole bunch of BS to keep us distracted on the real issues. Let me know in the comments what you think, and consider subscribing if you enjoy this sort of thing. But anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Later.